Namaskar and welcome to Express News. My name is Mark Lynn. Let's start with the national news. The lower house of Parliament of India, the Lok Sabha, on Monday took up discussion on the motion of thanks to the President's address. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will reply to the debate on the 4th of February. Union Minister and BJP MP Sarbanand Sonowal moved the motion expressing gratitude for the President's outline of the government's priorities, while the BJP MP Tejaswi Surya seconded it. Earlier during the question hour in the Lok Sabha, Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan replied to questions regarding expansion and operationalization of PM Shri schools. C. Sadanandan Master moved the motion of thanks in the upper house, also known as the Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha also took up discussion on the motion of thanks to the President's address of Draupadi Murmu, with a total of 16 hours allotted for the discussion. During the question hour in the Rajya Sabha, the Jal Shakti Minister C.R. Patil said that the government is committed to ensuring safe and sustainable drinking water for every rural household in India under the Jal Jeevan mission. Minister Ram Mohan Naidu replied to the questions asked by members during question hour in the Rajya Sabha regarding the present status of the Udan scheme. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will visit the United States from February 2 to 4, 2026 to participate in the Critical Minerals Ministerial convened by U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. The ministerial will focus on supply chain resilience, clean energy transitions and strategic cooperation in critical minerals. Moving on, India's Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnav said on Monday that the country's first bullet train in the northeast will connect Bihar and West Bengal via Varanasi, Patna and Siliguri and will later be extended to Assam. Union Minister of State for Science and Technology Dr. Jitendra Singh on Monday said that India is set to launch a humanless Gaganyaan mission in the second half of 2026. An Indian defense delegation led by General Anil Chauhan, the Chief of Defense Staff, is on an official visit to Armenia. The visit marks an important step in taking forward shared strategic interests and enhancing long-term defense and security collaboration between the two nations. The 13th edition of the joint military exercise Khanjar between India and Kyrgyzstan will be conducted at Misamari, Assam from the 4th to the 7th of February 2026. The exercise aims to enhance interoperability between the special forces of both nations. At 9,500 feet over Manipur, the Indian Air Force's Mi-17 V5 missions battled fire, wind and low visibility, delivering 40,000 litres of water over 3 relentless days. The third edition of the Tri-Services Future Warfare course commenced in New Delhi on Monday. This 3-week program, it aims to prepare the officers for the complex challenges of modern warfare. World Wetlands Day is being celebrated to recognize and raise awareness about some of the planet's most vital ecosystems, our freshwater and coastal wetlands. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change marked World Wetlands Day 2026 in New Delhi, highlighting the vital link between wetlands, also culture and community knowledge. The Minister of State for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Kirtivardhan Singh, noted that wetlands support rich biodiversity, sustain livelihoods and remain deeply rooted in local traditions, calling them the lifelines of nature and urging renewed conservation efforts. The Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant addressed the state-level celebration of the World Wetlands Day 2026, organized by the Goa State Wetland Authority at Karapur. Indian origin climate scientist Veerbhadran Ramanathan has won the prestigious 2026 Krafroot Prize in Geosciences for his groundbreaking work on climate change. CM Dhami inaugurated the training portal developed for skill development. This is of workers registered with the Uttarakhand Building and Other Construction Workers Welfare Board at the State Secretariat in Dehradun. Indian equity benchmarks, they ended higher on Monday, with the Nifty gaining 262.95 points to close at 25,088.40. At close, the Sensex climbed 943.52 points to settle at 81,666.46. The Indian rupee ended higher at 91.51 per dollar on Monday. Gold futures maturing on the 2nd of April was priced at 1,48,200 rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for 5th March maturity stood at 2,49,118 rupees per kilogram on the MCX. Brent crude oil futures dropped over 5%, around $66 per barrel on Monday, with $66.30 US dollars per barrel. So, the International Monetary Fund has forecast global headline inflation to decline to 3.8% in 2026 and further to 3.4% in 2027, driven by softer demand, lower energy prices and improving supply conditions. Asian markets stumbled on Monday as risk-off sentiment hit the investors. The Hong Kong's Hang Seng, it plunged 668 points. The South Korean Kospi slid over 5.0% and Japan's Nikkei dropped 1.25%. South Korea signed a contract with Norway to supply the Chunmoo multiple launch rocket system valued at $896.4 million, the presidential chief of staff Kang Hoon-sik announced after meeting Norway's defense minister during his visit. Snapchat blocked 415,000 under-16 accounts in Australia on Monday under new social media law effective December 10. The legislation mandates platforms like Meta, TikTok and YouTube to restrict underage users, with non-compliance penalties reaching $34 million US. The Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian has ordered the start of nuclear talks with the United States as per Iranian media reports on Monday, after the US President Donald Trump said he was hopeful of a deal to avert military action. Earlier, Iran's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baqai said that Iran is weighing terms for resuming talks with the United States soon. Iranian authorities have arrested 4 foreigners of undisclosed nationalities for what they say is participation in riots. Iran, their authorities, they have accused the Israeli and United States governments of having had a hand in the riots. Iran has summoned European ambassadors stationed in Tehran after the EU's designation of the Islamic Revolutionary Corps Guard, that is, as a terrorist group. Israel reopened its border between Gaza and Egypt on Monday for a limited number of people on foot, allowing a small number of Palestinians to leave the enclave and some of those who escaped the war to return for the first time. Syrian government forces entered the Kurdish stronghold of Hasakeh city, marking a significant step in the integration deal reached with Kurdish authorities last week. Deputy Chairman of Russia's Security Council, Dmitry Medvedev, said that a proposal by European powers to deploy NATO member troops in Ukraine as part of a security guarantee and peace deal are unacceptable for Russia. The Kremlin has confirmed upcoming trilateral talks involving Russia, Ukraine and the United States in Abu Dhabi on February 4 and 5. At least 15 people were killed and 7 wounded after a Russian drone struck a bus carrying miners in Ukraine's southeastern Dnipropetrovsk region. A Ukrainian drone struck a residential building in Stary Oskol in Russia's Belgorod region overnight and this happened into Monday as well, sparking a fire and causing partial collapse. Rescuers have recovered the bodies of 2 civilians from the rubble. According to North Korean state media, the leader Kim Jong-un attended the inauguration of Sinuiju Combined Greenhouse Farm in North Pyongyang province. In Venezuela, the political prisoners who were released early on Sunday joined relatives of those still behind bars today at a vigil outside the El Helicod, country's most important detention center. U.S. President Donald Trump on Sunday stated that Washington was negotiating with Havana's leadership to strike a deal days after he threatened Cuba's reeling economy with a virtual oil blockade. The former UK ambassador to the US, Peter Mandelson, has quit the Labour Party after fresh US documents revived scrutiny over his links to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The United States officially exited the World Health Organization in January 2026, citing an unfair funding burden and dissatisfaction with the WHO's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. The move has impacted WHO operations and raised concerns over global health coordination and disease surveillance. U.S. President Donald Trump announced on Sunday he is closing the Kennedy Center Arts Complex in Washington for 2 years, beginning July 4th for a thorough renovation. In Pakistan's Balochistan province, clashes between Baloch separatists and security forces in Quetta have left streets littered with burnt cars and other vehicles, with security checkpoints on the roads restricting the flow of traffic. Costa Rica's President-elect Laura Fernandez has pledged what she calls profound and irreversible change in her first speech following her victory in Sunday's election. Japan's snap general election, scheduled for February 8, has ignited debate over Prime Minister Sanai Takachi's unilateral power to dissolve the House of Representatives. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez met on Monday with the Lebanese President Joseph Aoun at Madrid's Moncloa Palace. Spain and Lebanese, they've signed 3 agreements aimed at strengthening bilateral ties. Let's take a short break now. You're watching DD India Express News. Stay with us.
One of India's newest states, one of India's oldest lands. Jharkhand is a hidden.
Take a front seat to witness the grandeur. That Gar Firdaus Barruez.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. I'm Mark Lynn. The weather-related news now. Extreme cold swept Poland as prolonged sub-zero temperatures caused the Baltic Sea to partially freeze. Polish authorities warned that conditions could worsen as temperatures are forecast to drop to a negative 22 degrees Celsius. Unusually cold weather gripped Cuba as Havana saw daytime highs capped at 15 degrees Celsius with strong winds and 3 to 4 meter waves, flooding low-lying areas, prompting evacuations. Winter storm across North Carolina dumped up to 16 inches of snow, prompting the deployment of 2,500 workers as officials warned of ongoing freezing conditions. The North Carolina authorities urge residents to stay off the roads after nearly 1,000 crashes were reported amid heavy snowfall. 7 people were killed in Madagascar after tropical cyclone Faitia hit the eastern African nation over the weekend. More than 8,400 people were forced to leave their homes and take shelter. A magnitude 4.7 earthquake hit the Kashmir Valley on Monday morning. No damage or injuries were reported. A spell of heavy snowfall turned the hill town of Manali in Himachal Pradesh into a winter wonderland. Dense fog engulfed Delhi on Monday morning, resulting in reduced visibility. The India Meteorological Department forecast dense to moderate fog in the region throughout this week. Similar dense fog was witnessed in the North Indian state of Uttar Pradesh as temperatures dipped further on Monday due to weather change. Renowned sand artist Manas Kumar Sahu created a 2-hour sand animation depicting key messages and public sentiment on India's Union Budget 2026. The iconic Amrit Udyan at the Rashtrapati Bhavan is going to open for the public from the 3rd of February to the 31st of March this year in New Delhi. Rajasthan's Jaisalmer comes alive with the 44th Maru Mahotsav. It celebrates Thar desert culture through folk music, traditional attire, cultural performances and decorated camels. Locals in Himachal Pradesh's Lahore marked the traditional New Year festival known as Halda. The 38th Rose exhibition at Indoor's Gandhi Hall showcased over 3,000 flowers across 325 varieties. An Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, this is at this place, IIT Bombay, researchers have reimagined silk through Jivodaya, which is a compassionate method that lets the silkworms spin silk on flat surfaces and also live out their full lives. The month-long Madhav Narayan Swasthani festival in Nepal concluded with devotees taking holy baths, fasting and also participating in rituals. India's Border Roads Organization shared a video showcasing 3 snow leopards. They showed them walking together in the high-altitude Himalayas. La Paz streets were filled with color as troops of brightly costumed pepinos, they danced through the Bolivian capital. Residents in western Moscow are taking to the icy Moskova River, and this is to practice ice floating, which is a growing winter activity where participants wear rescue wetsuits to float in freezing water. Organizers say that ice floating trend, popular in places like Lake Baikal, is drawing a thrill among people, drawing thrill seekers in the capital despite temperatures dropping to -20 degrees Celsius. Japan on Monday said that it retrieved sediment containing rare earth elements from a depth of about 6,000 meters during a recent deep-sea mission. Venice kicked off its 2026 Carnival with colorful celebrations at the giant Pentagana. They floated down the Grand Canal amid confetti, while themed boats and masked performers paraded before cheering crowds. Travelers thronged Guangzhou's Baiyun Airport as China's Spring Festival travel rush began ahead of the Year of the Horse, despite economic uncertainty. Nairobi Fashion Week spotlighted upcycled designs under the decarbonized theme as Kenyan designers pushed slow fashion in contrast to the daily influx of second-hand clothes at Gikomba Market. The 68th Annual Grammy Awards kicked off in Los Angeles, celebrating music and resilience with spirits running high. The Tibetan spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama, has been awarded the Grammy for the audiobook Meditations, the Reflections of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, at the prestigious award ceremony. Puerto Rican superstar Bad Bunny made history at the Grammys, winning the Album of the Year for his Debí Tirar Más Fotos, which is the first Spanish-language work to take the top honor in music. The American rapper Kendrick Lamar made history at the Grammy Awards by breaking Jay-Z's record to become the most awarded rapper of all time, with 26 wins now. And he and SZA, they won the prestigious Record of the Year award for their collaboration Luther. The American singer Lady Gaga added another milestone to her storied career, winning the Grammy in the category of the Best Pop Vocal Album for her latest record, Mayhem. The American singer Billie Eilish and her brother and principal collaborator Phineas O'Connell won the award for Song of the Year for Wildflower at the Grammys. The English musician Lola Young has bagged the Best Pop Solo Performance Award at the 68th edition of the Grammys, beating the major pop stars including Justin Bieber, Lady Gaga and others. The singer-songwriter Olivia Dean was crowned Best New Artist at the 2026 Grammys in Los Angeles. The 26-year-old became the first-time Grammy winner. She was the first-time Grammy winner. Musician Youngblood took home the 2026 Grammy for Best Rock Performance with his powerful performance on Changes, marking a milestone moment in the British rocker's career. Golden Song from K-pop Demon Hunters movie won the Best Song Written for Visual Media at the Grammy Awards premiere ceremony, marking the first ever Grammy victory for a K-pop act. The sports news now, and the International Cricket Council on Sunday issued a statement taking strong objection to the announcement by the Pakistan government of forfeiting the T20 World Cup match against India. The ICC said that this decision is not in the interest of the global game. The World Cricket Body has further sent a word of caution, hoping that the PCB will consider the significant and long-term implications for cricket in its own country, as this is likely to impact the global cricket ecosystem. The ICC stressed that its events are founded on sporting integrity, competitiveness, consistency and fairness, and any deviation from full participation would undermine the spirit and sanctity of its competitions. BCCI Vice President Rajiv Shukla said that India agrees with the ICC stance on sportsmanship regarding Pakistan's boycott of their T20 World Cup match against India, and will comment only after speaking with the ICC. The former Indian cricketer Madan Lal also has warned of serious consequences for Pakistan cricket for boycotting the India matches, adding that Pakistan is damaging its own cricket with this decision. The Australian fast bowler Josh Hazlewood will not travel with the squad for the early part of its T20 World Cup matches, as he continues his rehabilitation after recovering from an injury in Sydney. Delhi Capitals secured a convincing 5-wicket win against the UP Warriors in the final league stage group fixture. This is the league stage fixture of the Women's Premier League. Spinners Ayush Mahatre and Khilan Patel, they starred with the ball as India defeated Pakistan by 58 runs in the under-19 World Cup match at Bulawayo, and they book now a place in the semi-finals. In tennis, the world number 1 Carlos Alcaraz celebrated his maiden Australian Open title after sweeping past Novak Djokovic in the final at the Rod Laver Arena on Sunday. Alcaraz became the youngest man at the age of 22 to complete a career Grand Slam, surpassing the legendary Rafael Nadal, who had who was 24 when he completed the career Grand Slam. After his maiden title, Carlos Alcaraz said that having Rafael Nadal watching in the crowd helped drive him to a maiden Australian Open title and made the win even more special. In badminton, the young Indian shuttler Devika Sehwag has clinched her maiden BWF Super 300 crown after Malaysia's Goh Jin Wei retired midway at the Thailand Masters final in Bangkok. In soccer, Manchester City blew a 2-goal lead to draw 2-2 at Tottenham Hotspur on Sunday, handing its North London rival Arsenal a huge Premier League title boost. Arsenal lifted the inaugural FIFA Women's Champions Cup, defeating Brazil's Corinthians 3-2 in the rain-soaked final at the Emirates Stadium. The International Olympic Committee said that the Milano Cortina Olympics will live up to its billing as the greatest winter sports show on earth, despite last-minute efforts to get venues, including the ice hockey stadium, ready for next week's start. That's all we have in the Express News. Thank you very much for watching. Namaskar.